Do you ever wonder what happened to the person you were when you were a kid? I'm talking about childhood, when you dreamed big, you played harder, you weren't scared of anything. And yet, as you grow older, slowly but surely, you become more fearful. You start being scared of stuff. You're more cautious. You're weary. You don't want to take a chance. Well, my friend, don't you wonder what would our lives be like if we didn't have all of these invisible barriers holding us back from living the life we were meant to live? I believe in all of my heart that we're not meant to live with invisible fences. No, all these stupid obstacles that we put in our own way that don't even exist, but in our imagination. And yet we allow these invisible fences to hold us back from living life to the fullest. Well, today we're going to work on removing those invisible fences and letting you be set free to live the life that you were meant to live. So, my friend, it's all inside of today's 382nd episode of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kevin Lowe. And hey, did you check out the free resource? It's called the AI Advantage. I made it just for you because we're in this era right now where everybody is using AI, talking about AI, and they're leading you to feel like that if you're not utilizing AI, you're going to be left behind. So I made a guide to help you, the person who's not so tech savvy, you're a little bit overwhelmed and maybe even scared of AI. Well, I just want to break it down, make it easy for you to start to implement, to start to play around with. And so check out today's guide. There is a link at the top of today's show notes for you to download your free AI Advantage. And with that, here we go. It's on with today's episode.
I got grit, grace, and inspiration on my mind. No matter the storms that rise, I won't be left behind. I'm stepping out in faith, cause I'm perfectly designed. I got grit, grace, and inspiration on my mind.
Tell me how many times you have been scared to death when walking in your neighborhood. I'm talking about you out for a stroll, maybe on your bicycle, and it's the house at the end of the block that has the big dog. Let's think big, mean dog. They got the big pit bull, the Rottweiler, the Doberman, something that looks like it is ready to eat you alive. And you are sure that, OMG, my day is about to be ruined as that dog comes charging through the yard right at you. And yet, even though they don't have a fence, which you think is insane, the dog just stops. They don't come into the street. They don't even attempt to. They are stopped by some type of invisible barrier. Well, of course, you know, they must have installed that invisible fence, the kind that keeps the dog in the yard. Well, my friend, what's powerful about this is it is the same thing that you are doing in your own life. You've been putting up walls, barriers, invisible fences all around you and your life that don't even exist, that you can't see. Now, lucky for you, you don't also have a shock collar around your neck so that when you do cross the barrier, you don't get a little electrode that makes you realize, whoa, what have I done? No, that's exclusive for the dog. But for you, my friend, you've got your own invisible fence put up that's keeping you pinned inside of your own world, in your own mind. And we have to begin to break through that invisible fence. So if you want to stop being like that dog, if you want to stop being limited by invisible barriers, and by that, I'm even talking about the expectations of others, the judgment that you feel that you receive, those regrets and the self-imposed limitations that you put on yourself, all of these invisible barriers that just keep us all stuck. If we want to do away with those, well, then, my friend, the first thing you have to decide is that you want it bad enough to get uncomfortable, that you are willing to test the waters, that you're willing to go outside of the comfort zone, and you're willing to chase after the stuff that you want in life. Because all of these barriers that I'm talking about, all of these expectations that you hold on you, all of these dreams and these ideas of what you think is perfect, and yet you're fearful to move forward because you don't want to accidentally fail or to look silly or stupid. All of these are self-imposed limitations that can all be gone in an instant. As soon as you make the mental decision that they are no longer holding you back. Now, I'm not trying to downplay it or make it sound easy, but that is how it has to begin, is you making that decision. For the next moment, I want you to really be honest with yourself as I read through a couple of scenarios. And I want you to reflect and to identify if this is you. Is it the fear of failure that holds you back? Is that your invisible fence? Because, my friend, I'm here to tell you that no matter who we're going to talk about, no matter who you want to put on a pedestal, everyone has failed if they've gotten to the top. Everyone has slipped, they have fallen, they have screwed up, they have made an embarrassment out of themselves. It is a fact of life. Failing is part of the process. Now, the important thing is, though, is we learn to fail forward. We learn from our mistakes. We gain wisdom from every fall to help be sure that we hopefully don't make the same mistake again. Again, failure, it's just part of life, my friend. Do not allow failure to hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Or what about the fear of what others think, what others say about you, or what you think others say or think about you? Because a lot of times I think that we all have this idea that everybody else is focused on what we're doing, and we're so sure that they are talking trash behind our back and that they're judging everything we do. And in reality, chances are they could care less. It is your life. They don't care what you're doing. Hopefully that is the case. But you know what? Even if it isn't, even if other people are talking about you, are judging you, well, you know what? Let them talk and let them judge all they want. Because what is that going to do to you? Nothing. This is your life. This is your game. And my friend, I'm here to tell you that if you need a cheerleader, somebody to encourage you in amongst of all these people who you think are judging you, well, my friend, right now, today, I am your cheerleader. I am your coach, and I am encouraging you to just live your life. Don't get so focused on what you think others are thinking of you or talking about you. Let them do them and you do you. This life is yours and yours alone. So do not waste another day being held back by the fear and worry about what others might think. Or maybe, is it you just doubting your own worthiness? Do you honestly feel like, you know what? I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too young. I'm too stupid. I don't deserve anything better in life. Maybe you've done some stuff that you regret, that you're holding on to, that you keep with you, and you continue to remind yourself that I'm not a good person because I did this or I did that. My friend, please, please do not fall into that trap. This life, it is too short. What you did yesterday is gone. All that matters is what you do today and what you do tomorrow. We can't go back in the past. We can't erase history, but we can be sure that we make the most out of today. We can be sure that we make tomorrow better for us and for the world. So don't get stuck in this trap of holding yourself back from achieving greatness, from treating yourself right because of you punishing yourself. My friend, that is no way to live. And if you need to be set free of that, then my friend, I pray that you can find a way to set yourself free of the burdens that you've been carrying, because you are deserving of having everything in this life. No matter which one of those scenarios that may be aligned with you, maybe it was a bunch of them, maybe it was some of them, maybe it was none of them. Maybe I didn't hit on the right thing for you. Well, my friend, only you know what that is. But I hope with what I said today, you understand what I'm getting at. You understand where I'm going with this. And you know deep down in your heart, if you're listening to me right now and you're truly listening, my friend, It is time that you realize it is time to be set free of the burdens, of the pains, of the guilt, of the fear of judgment. You, my friend, are ready to embark on the journey that you've been waiting for. Now, the next question is, though, but how? How do I begin to do it? I've been held back for all this time. How do I begin to break down the barriers that stand in my way, invisible or not? Well, I believe it all starts by you being willing to embrace courage over comfort. We all hear about that infamous comfort zone. We all want to be comfortable, me included. But baby, ain't nothing good coming out of the comfort zone. Comfort zone is where people go to stay still. They lay on the couch. They don't get up. They ain't living. They ain't thriving. They are comfortable. You want to be in the growth zone. So you have got to be willing to step outside, to take some risks, to do some stuff that is outside of the barriers that you've been putting up for yourself. You have got to switch your identity. If you have been telling yourself that you are the kind of person who is cool with how life is, that you're fine with where you're at, that you don't care, that, you know what? Nothing else has ever worked out for me, so why am I going to keep trying? So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy life. But secretly, you want more? Well, then, my friend, you have got to get out of the comfort zone, and you have to have the courage to keep moving forward, to get outside, to do some stuff that you need to do to work on yourself, to work on the goals that you have. So don't allow yourself to get stuck in that comfort zone. Get off the lazy boy if you need to get out of the lazy boy and get moving with life. Now, I get it. Maybe that doesn't mean that you actually even have to walk outside. Everybody's life situation is different. Maybe it's you finally getting on the computer. It's you doing the research for that idea you've had, that you've been putting off. Maybe it's a business venture you've been wanting to explore, but you've been scared. You've been being held back because, well, where you're at is comfortable. But today, I'm encouraging you to get uncomfortable, to have the courage to chase those big dreams. The second step is you have to be ready to replace all of those limiting beliefs with empowering truths. Me, you, we all have a tendency in our subconscious mind to limit our abilities. We talk total crap about ourselves all the time. It's ridiculous. It's why I often say that we all need to treat ourselves like we do our best friend, not like we typically treat ourselves. Instead, we have to be willing to flip the script in our own minds, in what we say about ourselves and our abilities. So whenever you have a limiting belief pop in your mind, I want you to replace it with an empowering truth. When you say, I can't, I want you to replace that with, I will learn how. When you doubt that you can do something, I want you to replace that thought with, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to do something. I'm going to be empowered so that I can do this better than I ever thought I could. All of this comes back down to mindset. You have to adopt a mindset of the person who is willing to step outside of the comfort zone, the person who is willing to stop talking so bad about yourself and your abilities, and instead realize that, you know what? Maybe I don't know how to do this thing. Maybe I don't know how to make my dreams come true, but darn it, I can figure it out. I can try, I can ask, I can research. I can do something to move the needle forward in my life. My third step in this process is surrounding yourself with positivity. The people around you, they impact you. So if you are around a bunch of negative Nellies, well, my friend, I want you to find ways of connecting with other people. Now, sometimes that may mean you getting outside of your environment and finding new groups of people who share a positive mindset like you. Or maybe it's you finding podcasts like this one. Yes, Grit, Grace, and Inspiration is awesome. There are also other amazing podcasts, all in the self-improvement and education categories, that you can find some inspiration to fill your ears. What I'm saying here, my friend, is even the most positive people We need other positive influences in our life to help us keep growing and becoming stronger. So if you don't have that, then my friend, that needs to be something you focus on, is figuring out how can you get more positive influences in your life. And my fourth and final piece of this puzzle is I want you to begin to celebrate the little things. I talk about this often on the podcast because I believe it is so important. We live in an era where we only focus on the big milestones. It's when you turn 50. Heck, when you turn 49, we act like that didn't count at all. It's only when you turn 50 that you get a big birthday. Well, my friend, if we're not celebrating the little stuff, then I feel like we're missing out big time in life. And especially in regards to today's topic, I need you to get focused on celebrating you along the way. What you're doing today, stepping outside of what's comfortable, breaking free of the barriers that hold you back, it's not easy. It's the reason why most people don't do it and most people stay stuck. But the fact that you have even made it this far in this podcast, it tells me that you know you are meant for more and you're ready to do it. So my friend, I want you to be sure that as you move forward in this journey, I want you to be sure that you celebrate each and every victory you have. No matter how little and insignificant it is, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back. Because if anybody needs a cheerleader, it is you. It is me. We all do. And sometimes we can't count on others to do it for us. So you know what? Sometimes you just got to bust out the cheer squad. Give yourself a little, oh, heck yeah, baby. Look what I just did today. And get yourself all kinds of pumped up. So when you adopt all of this, I want you to imagine living life unhindered. You're no longer trapped within the yard. You get to run free. You get to do what you want to do because you're no longer held back in life by these limitations that you've been setting on yourself. I mean, the fact is true. There are enough limitations in this world today that are indeed a force that we have to deal with. But what we don't have to deal with are the invisible fences, these imaginary obstacles that we put in our way. So my friend, I encourage you, if you get nothing else out of today's episode, to just begin to recognize all the things that you keep telling yourself that aren't actually true. Because can you see it? Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you actually physically knock it over? If not, then you know what? It's actually not there. That is you. That was all made up in your own imagination. It doesn't really exist. So my friend, it is time that you walk through the barrier, take back your life, and start living the life that you want to live. If anything in today's episode resonated, but maybe you have a question about it, you'd love to talk it over. Well, inside of today's show notes, or easy enough on my website, gritgraceinspiration.com, you can find links to get in touch with me. Whether you send me an email, send me a voice message, or schedule a free time for us to talk, all of that information is inside of the show notes. So reach out to me. I would be honored to get to sit down with you, help you out. We'll meet over a virtual coffee date and see if we can't get you on the right track, breaking down these invisible fences. So my friend, with that, I'm out of here. I'm your host, Kevin Lowe, and this, of course, was another episode of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration.
I will not fear the storm. My hope's well defined. I walk by faith, not by sight. I won't be resigned, rising higher every day. Oh, doubts left behind, 'cause I